Hello everybody and welcome in new English lesson. Our lesson today is reading time, student book page 122. Let's start our lesson with a new vocabulary.
Module 10. Reading time. 1. Vocabulary. Rubber. Tire. Liquid. Temperature. Silkworm. Cocoon. Fiber. Tube.
Okay, one more time.
Module 10. Reading time. 1. Vocabulary. Rubber. Tire. Liquid. Temperature. Silkworm. Cocoon. Fiber. Tube.
Now let's move to the second part of our lesson today, the reading text. I want you to read the title and look at the picture and tell me what is the text about. Of course, it's about natural and man-made materials. Now we are going to read and answer. Are rubber, glass, and silk natural materials? Listen and find out the answer.
2. Read and answer. Are rubber, glass and silk natural materials?
Natural and man-made materials. Look around you. We use natural materials to make some of the things in the world around us, and man-made materials to make other things. Natural materials come from the ground, from animals or from plants. When people use natural materials to make new materials, we call them man-made materials. Rubber. Rubbers, balloons and tyres are all made from rubber. But where does rubber come from? Natural rubber comes from the liquid inside the rubber tree. This liquid is white. In fact, it looks like milk. Natural rubber isn't very strong. When people started using it, they had lots of problems. One of these problems was that it became very hard in the winter, but it melted in the summer. Scientists and engineers discovered how to make natural rubber stronger, but also how to create man-made rubber. Glass. Glass is a man-made material. People make it from sand. They heat the sand at high temperatures to make glass. The first people to make glass in ancient times were from Mesopotamia. They used it to make jars and vases. During the 1st century CE, people started making glass objects by blowing air down a tube. Today, we use glass to make lots of things, like bottles or dishes. Silk. Silk is a natural material. In fact, it is a fibre that comes out of silkworms' heads when they build cocoons. The ancient Chinese used silk more than 4,500 years ago. They sold silk, but they didn't tell people how they made it. In around 500 CE, some explorers visited China and took some silkworms back to Europe, and people there started making silk too. Silk is a light and soft material, and it is usually very expensive.
Back again, my students. Let's answer the question. Are rubber, glass, and silk natural materials? The answer is rubber is both a natural and a man-made material. Glass is a man-made material and silk, of course, is a natural material. Okay, let's check our comprehension and talk about each part of the text. The first part is rubber. Rubber is both a natural and man-made material. It comes from the rubber tree naturally, and it is actually in a white liquid form. People take this natural material and make it harder and stronger. Many things we can use today are rubber. The second part is glass. People use sand to make glass. They have to heat it at very high temperature to make it thaw. The first people to make glass items were from number 3. Silk. Silk is a natural material. Silkworms produce this fiber when they build their cocoons. The Chinese were the first people to make and use silk. Now, my dear students, let me ask you some comprehension questions. Where do natural materials come from? They come from the ground, from animals or from plants. What are man-made materials? They are natural materials. What are man-made materials? They are natural materials that people can use to make new ones. What are some things that are rubber? Rubbers, balloons, and tires. Is natural rubber strong? No, it isn't. What did scientists and engineers discover? They discovered how to make natural rubber stronger and how to create man-made rubber. How do we make glass? We heat sand at high temperatures to make glass. What happened during the first century CE? People started making glass objects by blowing air down a tube. What is silk? It is a natural material which silkworms produce when they build their cocoons. Now, let's move to activity number 3. Read again and answer the questions. You can pause the video for a while and read again to answer the questions. Okay, back again, my dear students. Let's start with question number 1. Where does natural rubber come from? Of course, very good. It comes from the liquid inside the rubber tree. You can find the answer here. Okay, number 2. What problem did people have with natural rubber? It became hard in the winter, but it melted in the summer. Number 3. How do we make glass? We make glass by heating sand at high temperatures. What did people make with glass in the past, and what do they make now? Of course, they made jars and vases with glass in the past, and now they make lots of things like bottles or dishes. Number 5. How do silkworms make silk? Fiber comes out of the silk of silkworms' heads when they build cocoons. Last question. When did people in Europe start making silk? In around 500 CE. Now, my dear students, let's go to the workbook. Read and circle the label, then label the pictures. We had to stop at the side of the road because the car got a flat tire. Good. How long does a caterpillar stay in its tube or cocoon before it turns into a butterfly? Cocoon. Good. Silk is a fiber or liquid that people use to make shirts, scarves, and other clothing. Sure, it's fiber. Very good. You can make glass objects by heating sand at high silkworms or temperatures. Good. Yeah, temperatures. Now, let's label the words tire, cocoon, fiber, temperatures. Read the text in the student's book again and circle A, B, C, or D. Natural materials come from the ground, animals, and what is the correct answer? Of course, plants. That's good. You can find the answer here. Number 2, the liquid in the rubber tree is white. Great job. Number 3, scientists have found a way to make a rubber good. Number 4, glass is an material. What about the glass? It's a man-made material. Good. Last one, number 5. People can make items by blowing air down a tube. Make glass items. Very good. Last one. The first people to make silk were from okay, China. The answer is China. Now that's all for today, my dear students. Thank you